Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit Acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Happy Tuesday. It's a little ditty we like to call the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm Cam Stewart, Zach Burke keeping us on the air. We have plenty to get through today. Mike Vrabel's introductory press conference right after we got off the show yesterday. Going to go through some of the quotes for that. Also looking at who he's going to bring in as offensive coordinator. A couple names being thrown around there that might not just be Josh McDaniels. We'll go through that. And then another depressing little Bruins anecdote I saw this morning that I have to talk about. But before we get into any of that, there's something very important we need to discuss here on the Cam Show. Zach, if I could get you in here real quick. This is big news. I warned you about this off the air.
Yeah, you did.
This is big. Okay. So it kind of, I don't want to say came to a head last night, just another example last night, but let me lay it out as plain as possible. I don't get soup.
Like the food?
I don't understand it.
Okay. Because do you think it's just like hot meat water? Is that kind of what
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard people bring that up. I mean, it's broth. It's not necessarily, I mean, there's more like fat and flavor and stuff in it, but I guess I get the texture and stuff that you're talking about. Sure.
So as you know, I've talked about it on this show plenty. I'm a pretty picky eater for someone that's an adult, right? Like not as picky as I think some people in my life think I am, but still, like, I get it. I am. And so there are some things that like my girlfriend really likes. She cooks. I don't really know how to cook, and therefore I don't ever complain about what she's cooking because she's the one cooking. So I have never done that. But she can't understand like why I won't like cinnamon rolls. I don't really like cinnamon. She like can't, doesn't understand it. And she really likes soup. And we're now living in a cold place. And so she likes to make soup. And I get, like, I understand that part of it. Like, it's like hot chocolate, right? But as a meal, like, I get it. You more like the aesthetic of it than the actual taste. Like, you like what it's giving you in terms of an internal feeling rather than a flavor and texture of what you want to eat. I get it. Like, I'm not saying this isn't a bad thing here.
There is some soup that tastes good. Not all of it is just like, I'm going to use this as fuel to make my body feel warm as I shovel this mush down. Like, some of it has
your word for it. So last night she made something that again, give her credit.
Okay.
She was trying to tailor it more towards me. The other thing that she ate a lot of that I never really did was ramen. I know everyone's done that. So
like the cheap ramen or like actual like ramen.
She got some non-cheap ramen yesterday.
Oh, okay. She's fancy then. Okay.
I guess.
I thought you were talking about.
She said it was a step above like the ramen that you would get in college. So
yeah, no, that's
but I didn't really eat it. So
you never ate any of the 10-cent ramen? Okay,
no,
go ahead.
No. So she made like this soup with the broth and everything, but it also had the ramen in it with some chicken. And it was like a peanut thing, like a peanut flavor, which I love peanut butter, but I don't understand. Like, I don't really need a peanut butter saute to my chicken and ramen noodles. But I was so appreciative of her effort. She clearly really wanted a soup and wanted something that I would also eat, to the point where I was like, if you want to have a soup, like, you can make a soup, girl. I'll just make a peanut butter sandwich. I will be just fine. Like, I don't want to prevent you from doing that. It's like, I don't know how to explain it to people. I don't get soup. I don't want soup. I want something of substance.
If you want something, okay, but it can't, like, there's stuff in the soup that makes it, like,
it can be, but then you throw in a bunch of vegetables there, which I hate texture-wise. So there you run into another Camp Stewart issue.
Like, what about like a zuppa toscana? I mean, come on, it's sausage.
I don't know what that
potato. I'm telling you, it's like a cream-based soup. It's sausage, it's potato, it's kale. It's really good. Some onion in there.
I also don't like chowder. I think that's worth mentioning.
I do not like chowder at all. Like, even corn chowders.
I'll have it a little bit. And like lobster bisque. You ever had lobster bisque?
Yes, I have.
It's like okay.
It's okay. I'm not big on lobster bisque.
Me, it's not like soup. It's not a meal. I don't want to get too Kenny Banya with this. Like, I don't want to get Seinfeld on this, but I just don't think it's a meal.
Mike brought this up the other day, and he chimed in again with it now.
Mike Hamilton.
That chili is soup, and we had a discussion about this because I do not think that chili is soup. Like chili's more of a stew kind of thing. And there is a difference.
Mikey, I might be with Mikey on this one.
No,
I mean, I guess stew. I guess stew. I guess does fit.
Anything in a liquid cannot be a soup. Then that's the tell me a Pop-Tart's not a ravioli argument, and that's bullshit. So, like,
yeah, I guess I'm pretty quick to flip on this one. I guess it is a stew. I don't really do much stew either. To be fair,
would you prefer?
I don't really eat chili, huh?
Would you prefer stew over soup?
Yeah,
or is it too similar? Okay,
I mean, yes, it is. Like, I don't eat either of them, but I guess I would do a little bit of stew more. I guess,
but not anything that had a peanut saute apparently in it.
No, and you know what? We did have something like that before in like a lettuce wrap, and it was pretty good. Okay. But yeah, it just didn't flow right. And the chicken wasn't very like breaded. So
what was it breaded at all though? I would think most of the time when I have it, okay. When I have it in soup, it's usually just like, like pulled or shredded. Or
that's what I've seen. Again, I don't eat much, so I don't know.
I know you're not a soup connoisseur.
I'm really not, dude. Like I just from a young age, I was like, this ain't it for me. And probably one of the big reasons why was because one of the first soups I had was one of like a Stewart family staple, which is split pea soup. You ever had split pea soup? It's fucking nasty.
I cannot stand peas, but
it's disgusting. I don't like split peas. And I do eat peas if need be, but it's so gross. And my grandfather loved it, and I don't even know if my dad likes it. He just cooks it. You know what I mean? Like he brought over he freezes whole bags of them and brings them to my grandmother. It's like nauseating. And so maybe that got me off on the wrong foot, but like I have tried other soups. I just don't. I should like maybe I should. We
find you a soup,
huh?
I said it's 2025 the year we find you a soup.
I mean, I guess like I could dip my grilled cheese into tomato soup. I don't really want to, but I could. I've done it.
See,
if I could replace soup, like if I could replace bread with soup, that would be I think a good thing for me, a healthy thing for me.
Oh, that's okay.
Because I love bread, but it's not good for you. And everyone I know is cutting out bread, and I can't do it.
Yeah. No, I get that. But I think that there are just soups out there that you just haven't discovered yet is probably what it is.
I'm sure.
The amount of soups that are out there.
I hadn't discovered this one last night. This ramen peanut butter chicken soup.
Kind of seems like it has like some kind of Thai infusion then, because I feel like all the Thai food that I've had usually has like peanuts and stuff in it too.
I think so. But again, I'm not going to be that guy that complains about it. She's cooking every night. She's trying new recipes. Like,
I love how many comments we've gotten about all this soup. I mean,
I told you this was important. I haven't seen the comments here.
Oh, the Long Box podcast told you to eat your soup.
A nice loose chili.
Mike went on, yeah, nice loose chili, and then beef stew equals eat American. Thai soup always has peanuts. Okay, so then so maybe it was.
Oh, there you go.
That's gross. Well, in soup, I don't like peanuts in soup, so I get that. But no, I'm a big soup guy.
Man, the word's getting around about the soup.
It is. Like, who knew that this was going to be the segment we got off on? I say big soup guy. There's soups that I enjoy, and if it's like cold outside, I get it. Like, I won't eat chicken and dumplings any other time unless it's cold outside. Like, it's just essentially like chicken and like biscuits in like a broth. That seems like I don't need that kind of sustenance unless I need to go out and build a log cabin in the winter. Like that's the kind of mentality like soup gives me.
That's how I feel about hot chocolate, man. I had hot chocolate last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, at that hockey game. It was the first time in like 5 or 6 years I've had it. Nothing against it, but I just like I'm a pussy. That first sip, like I'm afraid I'm gonna burn my mouth. But it was at Wrigley Field and it was 10 degrees outside. So I was like, you know what? Let's do some hot chocolate. And it was great.
Oh, so you did soup when you went out and watched all the hockey.
Hot chocolate, not soup.
I'm sorry. Damn it. We were talking about soup. Yes, hot chocolate.
No, I would not do soup, man.
What about goulash?
Imagine ballpark soup. I'm sure there are places that have that.
Oh, for sure they have ballpark soup.
Oh.
It would be disgusting. But
I'm sure. I haven't even checked. I'll bet if there's a World Series game at Fenway, you can get clam chowder. I'm almost certain of it, actually. I know they would start to do hot chocolate during the World Series, but I would not be stunned at all if they did clam chowder.
Would you? I mean, I would never order ballpark soup.
No.
It's kind of like it's like gas stations. Like, oh, you don't want to get like gas station burritos or like something like that. Like ballpark soup seems like
the hot dogs itself are probably nasty enough, but that's how they're supposed to be.
Yeah, like they. Ballpark soup is only. I think I know what's going on now. But
dude, which does, I mean, talk about a great concession food in Canada. You a poutine guy, Zach?
I've never had poutine. I'll try it. It's you don't like it?
No,
it's essentially gravy, isn't it? Like
it's French fries with cheese and gravy.
So I like French fries with gravy. It's the mixing the cheese and stuff together that is a little bit too much, but I would try it still. Like I've seen some that looks good.
You'll probably like it.
I'm
sure you like all three of those things. I don't like gravy, so
at all.
I told you, brother. Did I not open this up by saying, "Hey, I'm a picky guy"?
You did. But like brown gravy, white gravy, just no gravy at all.
It's like okay. I just all my family like douses their shit in gravy, and I'm like, why, man? Like just. That's why I don't put anything on my hot dog. I don't put anything on my pizza. This is the way that God intended.
On the hot dog.
Yeah.
Just hot dog and bun.
Yeah.
Not even a condiment.
No. Raw, baby.
Who are you?
I've had some with like cheese in the bun, so I guess that counts as a cheese hot dog.
Like inject, like okay, like you put
not injected, like
bun?
on the on the bun.
I thought there was like there was cheese in the bun. I was like, what kind of frozen food crap is that?
Not any of that. Anyway.
Before we move on, can I add one thing? Because I know you have actual sports to talk to, but I didn't get to talk to you about it last Friday because you had the Hartford Whalers Booster Club president on.
Yeah, that went along.
We didn't get to do. So maybe I'll save it for this week. But we didn't get to do the best and worst things we watched last week.
Yes.
Which mine was the same for both answers. And it was, and I'll send it to you here later so you can watch it too. It's just 4 minutes. It's a YouTube clip. Your buddy Teddy Bruschi's in it. And it is the 1994 All-American team on a Bob Hope special. And they have to run out and they introduce themselves. And then like every third one tells a horrible joke. And it is the most awkward / best thing I had watched in forever. Because it's like Teddy Bruschi runs out here and he's like, Merry Christmas, Bob. I was like, who the hell's Bob? And then I had to figure out, they apparently did this for Bob Hope. But the jokes were bad. There was a laugh track over it. Not everybody could get over it. Warren Sapp must have lost his Miami jersey because the other Miami guy had a Miami jersey and they put together some rinky-dink one for Warren Sapp. Like everything as a whole. And they let both the punters and kickers tell jokes to make them feel
Hell
better.
Yeah. I was going to ask who the best player was, but I'm guessing it's Warren Sapp.
Oh, dude. So there's some guys on that team. Todd Sauerbond.
Teddy Bruschi, defensive line, by the way, not a linebacker.
He was in that flowing mullet there in his Arizona. Yeah. The backfield was, are you ready for this fantastic backfield?
94?
94.
Rashawn Salam.
Yep. That's the Heisman Trophy winner.
And do they do another running back or do they do fullback?
They did 2 running backs and a quarterback, and the running back and quarterback are from the same team then. The other ones that are left.
Ooh. Are they from Penn State?
They are.
Is it Kajana Carter and Todd Collins?
Oh, not Todd.
Kerry Collins. Todd Collins.
There you go.
Yes.
I saw them announce that and I was like, that is the most college.
Dang, how about that? How about that for some autism daily dose of the day, man? Come on. Turn me up.
No, that's good. But I watched that and thought that is the most like college backfield you could ever have. Kerry Collins handing off to Kajina Carter and Rashawn Salam back there.
The late Rashawn Salam. Man.
All right. That's all I had. You can actually talk about other.
I do have to talk about some sports. That does stink. Although, man, I am about to crack a conspiracy, and maybe I'll get more into it for the worst things we watched of the week. But I am about to get down to the bottom of this conspiracy of the AI generated songs for some commercials. You knew it was coming, but there are 2 that I want to bring up specifically. I'll wait for it. But they are just the most plain AI things. And it's genuine word vomit. Like I hate it.
See, I think that's what I brought up with that Hallmark movie of where they made their own ridiculous Christmas music that made no sense. And it's in that same kind of category. But we'll save that for Friday.
Shit. I'm gonna I'm going to watch that Hallmark Christmas movie that Chiefs won in like July. So they can't wait for that. Anyway, stop. It is the Cam Show. I'm Cam Stewart. Zach Burke is keeping us on the air. It is once again a new era for the New England Patriots. Only the second time in, I don't know, 360 days that it's a new era for the New England Patriots as Mike Vrabel has officially been unveiled as the team's head coach, taking over for Jerod Mayo. And I was going to play some from the press conference, but again, we're monetized now. I don't really want to do that. But I'm just a little surprised by this underbelly of the fan base that is being pretty negative about this. And there are some people that like don't think that Mike Vrabel is a good head coach, and they think he's too conservative and he punts too often and he doesn't go for it on fourth down enough. And like I've seen the numbers behind that. Like that's a beef. I get that. You know, especially from what we had this year with the Patriots. Like you want a more aggressive coach. Totally get that. But then there are some fans who just think it's like trying to tap into the old Patriots. And I just can't agree less. Like you wanted to say that with Mayo? Absolutely. That was definitely the case. Like they were trying to get some of that old magic, a guy that played for and coached under Bill Belichick. They literally just promoted him. He wasn't anywhere else. Like Mike Vrabel did not coach for Bill Belichick. He didn't play his whole career for Bill Belichick. He has clearly made a name for himself in the coaching world outside of New England and outside of Bill Belichick. And like, we have to take these things into consideration because there is a world where Vrabel does hire Josh McDaniels as his OC and the freshly fired Wes Welker as his receivers coach, who they crossed paths in Houston with the Texans years ago. Like those are different things. Like McDaniels, yeah, you could say that's a Belichick crony. He kind of is, but he was also the most successful, clearly, at his job. And you're hiring him to do that job. You know, Josh McDaniels, you're hiring him to be the head coach. That has a history of failure. But you're not. You're hiring him to do the job he was very good at. And Wes Welker did not coach in New England. So we need to differentiate those things. We're not just running it back with Mike Vrabel. And he had some good quotes in this press conference yesterday, kind of the Patriots porn that you want to hear. But this one was the most important to me. Well, not to, give it away, but he talked about interesting versus important. And that is something that I think really explains what I'm talking about Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. And he puts it much more eloquently than I do. He's basically saying, is it interesting that I played for Bill Belichick, or is it important? Is it just interesting in that, hey, we can tap into this thing? Or is it important because I can use what I learned from Bill Belichick and use it as a head coach myself? If you're going to come in and hire, I saw someone comment on one of the videos the other day, oh, you're going to bring in Vrabel. You might as well bring in Gronk to coach the tight ends, Brady to coach the quarterbacks, Edelman to coach the wide receivers. That's bullshit. Okay, those guys have never coached, and they're pretty bad on TV. But if you're going to bring those guys in, that is interesting. That's not important. What Vrabel has is a little bit of both, but mostly important because he's a successful head football coach in the NFL. Trust me, my boss, Mike Hamilton, big Titans fan, would love to have Mike Vrabel back in that building. Love it. 10 games over 500, 9 games over 500, has a team as a number one seed in the AFC. Then the next year brings him to the AFC championship game. Like, this guy can flat out coach. He knows the rules better than almost anybody in the league right now, which was such a key advantage for Belichick over the years. He is not taking any shit, and he's showing it to you and telling it to you from day one. Another one, we're going to remove entitlement from the building. Did you hear that, Jelani Tavai? We're going to remove the entitlement out of here. Taylor Lewan said it. He was a guy who played for, he's obviously with Bustin' the Boys, the famous Barstool podcast, played for Vrabel in Tennessee. And he said, all those wide receivers, the worst wide receiver room in the league, those of you who think you're the second coming of Randy Moss, you are about to get your ass kicked by Mike Vrabel. And everyone's saying the same thing. Like, you do not mess with this guy. And that is exactly what the Patriots need. They need an adult in the room. And I thought the best thing he said yesterday, which I'm not the first one to run with this. Almost all the Patriots media has run with a few of these quotes, but this one specifically. He said, basically, we need to be smart enough to beat bad football. Which in my mind is really just another way of saying the old Bill Belichick adage of, what is it? You gotta learn how not to lose before you learn how to win. And this team, the last couple of years, and that does go back to Belichick in 2022 specifically, but obviously 23 as well, they didn't know how not to lose. And it certainly reared its ugly head in 23 and 24 when they lost 26 games in that span. Okay? Like, that's basically a way of saying, and I've said this all year long with this team, when they would commit the stupid penalties and not being aggressive and terrible play calling. And I'm like, you guys you're not good enough to be stupid. You do not have the talent to overcome that. And they're not going to this year either. But they finally have a coach in the building again who is going to drill it into these guys that you cannot be stupid and have no talent. Because that's the problem they've had. They've had no talent and they've been stupid. And Mike Vrabel is going to fix that. I truly believe that. Again, in another year, I'd love it to be Ben Johnson. And after Belichick, I would have loved for it to have been Ben Johnson. Really, truly. But that's not the way it was last year. And this year, you did interview him, which you should have done last year. But now I don't think the Krafts have the conviction to go with back-to-back rookie head coaches. And in this case, that's fine. Like, that's a risk you don't have to take when you believe in Mike Vrabel. And I think that's a good thing. And by the way, this has nothing to do with Mike Vrabel, the coach, but I'd be remiss if I went through like a whole week of Vrabel talk and didn't mention this. Pete Souza is going to love this. Mike Vrabel was a hell of a football player, man. And I've said it for years now. He should get more consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Like, that dude did so much. Like a flat-out football player that never got the credit he really deserved. Kind of like Dante Hightower in that sense. But, I mean, lest we forget, like, you look at all these big moments that the Patriots had in that early dynasty, in those Super Bowls, right? Ty Law's pick 6 against the Rams. That was because Mike Vrabel was right in Kurt Warner's grill. Absolutely forced him to just chuck one up. That's an assist to Mike Vrabel on the pick 6. He forces a key fumble in Super Bowl 38 against Carolina. And oh, by the way, he also scored a touchdown in that game and one in the next Super Bowl because he has 10 receptions all time and 10 touchdowns. This dude was a straight up dog, a football player, a very, very good one, who would definitely make the Patriots all-time team. He made the 50th anniversary team. He'll make the 100th anniversary team. I mean, this dude was a coach's dream, an absolute dream to have on your team. And again, he never really got the credit he deserved, but an absolute wild man and a terrific football player. Like, one of the great Patriots of all time. Again, that has nothing to do with his coaching ability, but they're independent of each other. Good coach, good football player, better football player. But maybe that means Mitchell and Ness will start printing the Mike Vrabel jerseys. I don't think they ever got around to the Gerard Mayo ones. I don't think they ever did. But Vrabel was just a tremendous player in everything they asked of him. Special teams at the beginning, then obviously perfect linebacker for Belichick's 3-4, and elite tight end, man. I mean, just a touchdown machine, never dropped the ball. Like, he was incredible and should get more consideration as a Pro Football Hall of Fame player. But maybe he'll just get in there as a coach. Leads the Patriots to 6 Super Bowls, and he's in there as a coach. Maybe. Who is Vrabel going to pick as the next Patriots OC? We're going to go over that next on the Cam Show.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Want to turn your passion into profit? With Blogify, creating a blog has never been easier. Build, customize, and grow your site with powerful tools designed for beginners and pros alike. Start sharing your story today and watch your audience grow with Blogify. Download Blogify now in the App Store. Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Stay connected no matter where you are with eSIM-X. Say goodbye to expensive roaming charges and physical SIM cards. With access to over 200 global carriers, we make mobile connectivity seamless and affordable for travelers worldwide. Join the future of communication today at eSIMX.com. That's ESIMX.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It is Matt Mosley, and it's the Obstructed View podcast, Rogue Media Network. I think they're learning that there's really no wonderful view of me. See, I feel like they think this feed's going to be really wonderful.
There must have been no BS, like 20 scouts, 15 to 20 NBA scouts there to see him, and he was top 5.
When your old number wasn't working, I went through various channels to track you down. So unfortunately, you can never get away from me, but I'm happy. Man. I'm happy to have you today.
No, thanks for having me. And you know, we always family no matter where I'm at.
Welcome to a special edition of the Doomsday Podcast. Look at this. We got one of the great golfers in the world, certainly one of the great pass rushers in NFL history.
But he also had a vision for you. And so it was like you had the best of both worlds, right? You had somebody on you early, and then you had somebody who was maybe
more relaxed.
What were a couple of your biggest takeaways?
The person you referred to that I spoke with, I've spoken to some personnel people and general managers of the league to get some, independent, objective assessments of the players the Cowboys picked, and we'll go through that.
Has the general manager changed at all in the draft room?
Nope, it's been the same since I was here the last time.
We are back. It is the Cam Show. It's Rogue Media Sports Network. You might have listened to the beautiful musings and stylings of Pete Souza this morning from Tempe. And now you get the Kenny Banya, Jerry Seinfeld dynamic of Cam Stewart and Zach Burke. Just talking soup. A couple guys talking soup. Wonder what the food opinion will be tomorrow. Wonder what wacky food opinions they'll come up with tomorrow on the Cam Show, which is live every day on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central, and then wherever you get your podcasts. So you got that. Anyway, Mike Vrabel has been hired as the head coach of the New England Patriots. We kind of all saw that coming. I think it's a good thing. I think most Patriots fans think it's a good thing, and not just from the, hey, let's tap into the Bill Belichick thing. I think it goes well beyond that. But non-ball knowers will just say it's clinging on to the past. What is most important, though, is the staff that he's going to put together, because this is the crucial part of this. When you hired Jerod Mayo last year, he didn't have any contacts. He didn't have anyone to come in and have his guys in there and put together his staff. There was arranged marriages all over the place. With Mike Vrabel, it's not going to be that way, at least in the coaching staff, the field coaching staff. It sounds like Elliott Wolf is sticking around, so there might be some arranged marriage there, although Cowden has come in from the Giants, so maybe that's just a heir apparent. Anyway, first, and most pressingly, I think for Patriots fans, is going to be offensive coordinator, because what you have is a young stud in Drake May on a rookie contract, and you need someone that is going to tailor to him, because he is your franchise. And by the way, Drake May did grow quite a bit under Alex Van Pelt. We'd be remiss if we didn't say that. Like, a lot of us didn't think he was going to be ready at any point during the season, look as good as he did at any point during the season. And Alex Van Pelt got him up to speed pretty quickly. Columbus Day weekend, he's out there. Anyway, there are a couple names being floated around. Of course, the popular one amongst Patriots fans is Josh McDaniels. And if we're being honest, I wouldn't mind Josh McDaniels in here at all. Do I want him as the head coach? Of course not. But offensive coordinator for the Patriots? Why the hell not? That's like his claim to fame. That's what he's been great at. 3 separate times he's been great at it, actually. Like, I'm taking that. I'm taking that dude. The guy who took Tom Brady's career to the next level? Yeah. The guy who made Mac Jones a Pro Bowler? Sure. That guy. Yeah. I'll take that. And he was the OC for them 3 years ago. It's not like, oh, you're bringing back a guy after 10 years. The game's gone. Like, it's passed him by. I don't think that's the case at all, actually. And he still lives in the Boston area, so it would make a lot of sense. But then there are some people who are wanting the young, exciting OC that we've seen succeed all around the league, whether it be a guy like a Ben Johnson or, the guys who become head coaches like McVay. Kingsbury's having a career renaissance. So looking at that kind of guy. And I think there's some good options for that too, to be totally honest with you. Tommy Rees out in Cleveland, like that. Obviously worked kind of with Vrabel this year, as Vrabel was a consultant for the Browns, and Tommy Rees was the tight ends coach, I believe, with the Browns. He is interviewing for the Browns OC job, which is open, so that might be a tough one. He could just get promoted there. He is a Midwest guy, but he's young. He's about 31, the old Notre Dame quarterback. He doesn't have a long, resume of experience, but he was the OC when Notre Dame went to the college football playoff with Ian Book as their quarterback. He made Jalen Milroe like a Heisman finalist at Alabama, a guy who really struggles with the forward pass. And now he's moved up to the NFL already. I think Tommy Rees is a pretty good candidate if you're looking at what you're going to want around Drake May. And the other thing that jumps off the page with both Tommy Rees and the guy I'm going to talk about next is their play action numbers are great. And that's something we heard about with Van Pelt coming in. And I don't know if it was his lackluster play calling or the fact the Patriots couldn't establish the run, but they couldn't do play action. They didn't do play action this year. And I think that would actually fit Drake May very well with his running ability. You just need an offensive line for it, which of course the Patriots don't have. I think there's a real future for Drake May carving teams up in the play action game. And Tommy Rees certainly brings a lot of that with him in the success that he had at both Notre Dame and Alabama, which, by the way, to go off Milroe a little bit, because Milroe had some tough games for Bama this year, for those of you that followed college football. He did have more passing yards this year. He had 10 more passing yards this year after Tommy Rees left, but he went from a 66% completion percentage, 23 touchdowns to 6 picks, to 64%, 16 touchdowns, and 11 picks. And his yards per attempt were less this year than they were under Tommy Rees. So he was throwing it farther and completing it more and putting it into danger less with Tommy Rees than he was this past year when Alabama kind of fell apart. And by that, I mean lost, 4 games this year? Is that right? 4 games? And Milroe finished 6th in the Heisman voting in 2023. So this is, again, Ian Book and Jalen Milroe. Tommy Rees got them both to the college football playoff. I know this is not college football, but you want to talk about those young, exciting OCs and one that is a game that is tailored towards Drake May, you're looking at one in Tommy Rees. The other guy, you might need a little bit more convincing for after last night, because the other guy is Josh McCown. And it was a dismal night last night for the Vikings and a pretty dismal last 2 games of the season. In fact, I think they had 9 points in each of the last 2 games. Not great. Not great at all. But lest we forget what they did this year. They were one of the best teams in football for most of the year. They were excellent in play action, and they saw a career renaissance with Sam Darnold. Everyone thought this guy was done. And here comes Josh McCown, a guy who had backed up Darnold in New York with the Jets, and had said at the time, like, this kid's going to be special. He's a guy who knows Darnold pretty well. He comes in the Kevin O'Connell system, and all of a sudden, Darnold looks like a top 5 quarterback in the league this year. He's going to get MVP votes this year. 4,300 yards, that's 5th in the league. 35 touchdowns, 5th in the league. Only 12 picks, and a QBR on ESPN QBR that was 14th in the league at 61. This guy was excellent this season for a Vikings team that kind of came out of nowhere after they spent a first-round pick to get a quarterback last year. JJ McCarthy tears his ACL. Oh, bring in the retread, Sam Darnold. Maybe, just maybe, you can get a little bit of something out of him. Maybe you get kind of a Tommy Maddox year out of him. This would be like if Tommy Maddox won the MVP. And you can credit Josh McCown for that. And probably because he had a prior relationship with him. He kind of knew how Sam Darnold ticked because he played with him. How about this? Josh McCown hasn't coached a long time. But you want to talk about being familiar with a quarterback. What if I told you that Josh McCown coached Drake May in high school? I'm not kidding. I didn't notice this until earlier this week. But yes, Josh McCown was an assistant at Myers Park High School in Charlotte. Very nice part of Charlotte, by the way. And was an assistant coach on the offensive side for Drake May in high school. So, like, it's all well and good that he knew Sam Darnold because he played with him. But he literally coached this kid already. And look what he did with Sam Darnold, man. Drake May might have more upside, and he's already coached him. He checks all the boxes. He's that young, exciting offensive type. Bang. Previous success in the NFL. Bang. Has coached Drake May. Not just knows him, not just knows his game. He coached the kid. Bang. All 3 check marks. So Josh McDaniels might be the odds-on favorite, but Josh McCown would be a big-time hire for this team. You might get the best of both worlds. You get the hard-ass head coach. Even though you don't get the offensive head coach, you basically get one of the best offensive coordinators on the market in Josh McCown. He had a great season with Minnesota, and he knows your franchise quarterback. Is it making too much sense for you guys? Is it possibly making too much sense? Is it too good to be true? Man, I was on the McDaniels train. And again, if they hire him, I'm not crying into my pillow. But this Josh McCown thing, I'm kind of in on it. I'm very okay with that. And it feels like, for the first time in a long time, they've got options. Because Bill Belichick did not have options. He was never going to go get Rex Ryan as his DC. He was never going to go get Cliff Kingsbury as his OC. Those dream lists that I had, it was never going to happen. But he would eventually bring in the right guys, sometimes bring in the right guys, and it was probably because he was the right guy, the right head coach. Now the Patriots have options. Last year they did not, even though they did get Belichick out of the building. They didn't have options because Gerard Mayo didn't know anybody. And He was clearly being told who to hire, clearly. And so now you do have those options. It should note, like I say that Josh McCown doesn't have a lot of experience. He's had 2 years coaching in the NFL. He's the quarterback's coach for Bryce Young in 23, which some people said was bad. I thought it was a little overblown, but certainly wasn't great. And then this year with Sam Darnold, which was very good. Very good. So to me, if it's Josh McDaniels, that's great. If it's Josh McCown, that's pretty damn good too. But let's get the right guy in the building for Drake May. Because if you have the hard ass head coach who knows the ins and outs of this thing and is going to build the culture, going to galvanize the team and the franchise, like he said, and you've got the right offensive mind, the wins might come sooner rather than later. The wins are not coming thick and fast for the Boston Bruins. And it might get even worse in this stretch here. Some big breaking Bruins news this morning. We'll go over that next on the Cam Show.
Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. Join the Daily High Club, the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and accessories. Since 2015, we've sold over 1 million quality products and teamed up with legends like Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong. Ready to elevate your smoking game? Visit dailyhighclub.com for our El Primo subscription box or shop unique pieces today. Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at BestBuy.com and upgrade your tech today.
We've got all these transfer portal stats and what Dion did and what Fritz has done. I mean, that's the deal, man. That's the game that's being played nowadays.
Maybe a little bit unknown at quarterback. I mean, unknown to the rest of the world, but, you know, he dove into the portal and got a guy who is super, super athletic.
South Dakota State's really good. Give us a little bit of breakdown about what they can do and what Oklahoma State needs to be worried about.
Look at that form right there. I need to say nothing else about this because I found one.
We are back, rounding things out here on the Cam Show. Cam Stewart alongside Zach Burke, keeping us on the air. We've had a lively soup discussion today. I'm sticking with chili being a stew. How about that? Not a soup, but rather a stew. I will at least give you guys that. Anyway, Big game for the Bruins. Bruins Lightning, if there is such a thing as big games for the Bruins left this season. Again, I'm pretty resigned to the fact that they are not going to make the playoffs, or I probably should say shouldn't make the playoffs. Something would need to go wrong, I think, with Ottawa and obviously Tampa. I think something from those teams would need to go wrong for the Bruins to not get in. I think Ottawa's playing good enough hockey to get in. Anyway, Bruins Bolts tonight and back at home. And it could be a hostile environment because the Bruins are going to be quite shorthanded tonight. And there've already been some bad nights at the Garden this year. Columbus in December booing the team off the ice, and one of the low points I've seen as a Bruins fan in the last decade. And then, just a week or two ago, the Fire Sweeney chants breaking out at the Garden. So it could be some more of the same tonight because some breaking news from the Bruins this morning placed a couple of guys on IR, Mark Kastelik and Charlie Coyle. Charlie McAvoy. So Mark Kastelik and Charlie McAvoy go to the IR, and it really represents a problem for the Bruins. They do recall Matt Poitras, which is what we've been waiting for weeks, Poitras or Lysell. And yesterday, I thought the Twitter admin was going to delete the account because they announced Vinny Lettieri was getting called up, and not Poitras or Lysell or Merkulov even. Just give some of these guys a chance. And now because they had to send a guy to IR, they can finally call up Matt Poitras. But still, the lines this morning were oof. Sorry, man. Scott McLaughlin puts out the lines from Morning Skate. Geeky, Zacha, Pastrnak, first line. Fucking hell. Marchand, Lindholm, Lettieri, Wahlstrom, Poitras, Frederick, Koepke, Beecher, Brazeau. If you can find a worse forward group in the league tonight, please let me know. Please let me know. I would love to see it. I think I can go down, take the purple line, switch to the red, get down to the United Center, and see the Blackhawks have a better forward group tonight than the Bruins. Oh, of course they played last night, got shit pumped by Calgary. And then on defense, Parker Wotherspoon, Brandon Carlo, Nikita Zadorov, Andrew Peak, Mason Lowry, and Osterley with Swayman and Korpisalo. So no Coyle at the morning skate, and obviously McAvoy and Kastelik going to IR. Oof. That is so bad, guys. Because there's still people in my life telling me, no, the Bruins can still make a run at this thing. You're wrong about the talent. Look at what they had last year. I'm telling you, they all had career years last year. Coyle, Heinen, Frederick, they all had career years. Heinen, you didn't even bring back. DeBrusk had a pretty good year. Didn't bring him back. These guys were all playing out of their minds. It was kind of a perfect storm for the Bruins just to be a home ice team in the playoffs. And you saw how much it helped them in round 2. And really, they should have lost round 1. The only thing they had in round 1 was Jeremy Swayman and a distinct psychological advantage over the Leafs. If they played anybody else in the league in round 1, anybody else in the playoffs in round 1, they would have lost. They were going entire periods without throwing a shot on the net. And they're still having that issue. So here we are, 3-4 days after they gave up 111 shot attempts to Florida. And they're going to roll that team out there tonight against Tampa, a team that beat them 4-1 less than a week ago. 111 shot attempts against Florida. And now they don't have Charlie McAvoy. Now they don't have their best defenseman. Hampus Lindholm is skating. Obviously not ready to come back in yet. And he was having a really good year for the Bruins. One of the only guys who was having a good year. So maybe, just maybe, you get some help there. But that's down the line. And Sacco did say it was just a couple of games for McAvoy dealing with a lingering injury, which could explain kind of the spikes, the peaks and valleys in his game this year. But, man, that's an outside of Pastrnak, man. who's getting better, 5 points his last 5 games. Outside of Pasternak, that's an AHL lineup. That is an AHL lineup. And there's still people out there that don't want Elias Pettersson. Not because of draft picks, not because they just don't want him. They think Elias Lindholm is the playmaking center this team needs. Oh, what a disaster. Oh, what a disaster, man. Like, again, I see these lines and I'm like, you know what? Don't even do the playoff thing, man. And I don't think they're going to be in contention for it. And I don't like that. I wish the trade deadline was in the middle of February rather than the beginning of March. But, like, just get rid of some of your depth guys, middle 6 guys. Like, someone will get goaded into Trent Frederick. They'll think Trent Frederick is a good, like, gritty muscle guy to add to them. Someone might even talk themselves into thinking that he's a power forward. Charlie Coyle, middle 6, really bottom 6 center who can play both ways. Brandon Carlo, big right shot defenseman who can move the puck a little bit when he's on his game. Like, just dump these guys, man. Nothing against them. Great service to the club and everything, but just dump them and just suck. Just suck for the rest of the season. Don't get near the playoffs. Get a decent enough draft pick. Plus, you get some capital from those trades and move on from there. Either do that or make the splash. I'm sick of this in between because you didn't make that. Elias Lindholm is not a splash. Nikita Zadorov is not a splash. In fact, you overpaid for both of those guys. If you're going to make the splash, go ahead and do it and bring in Elias Pettersson. Maybe you can even move Lindholm in that deal. Elias Lindholm. Hampus Lindholm's good trade bait too. But maybe you can move Lindholm back to Vancouver. They liked him there. They'll be like, okay, JT Miller will be our 1C and this kid will be our 2. And we'll eat the salary for a little bit, but we just dumped 11.5 from what we were paying Pettersson. Like, just do that at this point. I'm sick of this in between. I'm going to see a team out there tonight, and maybe they'll fight, and maybe, just maybe, they'll pull off a miracle victory like they did against Florida on Saturday. But that's not going to happen every game. Chances are they're going to get their ass kicked. It's probably going to be 5-1, and they're going to be booing them off the ice again. And those poor sick saps who paid $200 to sit in the balcony are going to boo their brains out. And they should. And they should. Watching this product out there and watching these lines. I feel bad for some of these guys, but like, it's time to stop playing that in between. You're not good enough to contend for anything. You're not good enough to win a playoff series, let alone, I don't know if you can make the playoffs, but if you can, you're not good enough to win a playoff series, and you're not bad enough to get a good enough draft pick. So enough with this shit. Pick one. And you're not a contender right now. It's much easier to lose. Anyway, maybe it's Elias Pettersson. Maybe they bring in Elias Pettersson. I'm so in on that. He was one of my favorite players in the league anyway. I would never get his jersey because I hate Vancouver, but I've always loved Elias Pettersson, man. And I know his game isn't what it was 2 years ago, but he's 26. There's no reason to believe he can't get back to that. No reason. And I would take him on the Bruins in a second. JT Miller also available too. I think we'll talk about him tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for tuning in for another episode of The Cam Show. Let me know what you think down in the comments on whether soup is real food or not, or whether chili is soup. I'd like to know your opinions on that. Be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton. Leave a comment on what you thought on the show or any of your thoughts on soup or my picky eating habits. And we'll be back here tomorrow, high noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you then on The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Tusains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.